Hello everyone and welcome back to Anno 1800, once again to Knuters, and just in time really for Overhaul to propose a ceasefire for only 120,000 credits. That is because we've sank quite a lot of her ships that are getting kind of lost in our space there all the time. And of course I'm going to accept this one as the price is really low, and with that finally we have peace with the pirate. More importantly though, we do get a reputation, and that is something where we can continue onwards. Of course, it doesn't work right off the bat again, but we could also flatter her and also gift her something. Actually, 2 times in a row. Yeah, it does work a second time as well. We have a nice balance input, and with that, well, it's still very unlikely for her to go to peace with us, but there is a chance that she actually goes to peace with us in the near future if I double that reputation to 20, which should be fine, or which should be possible actually. Now back in Knuters, we have a lot of artisans that we can upgrade, 5,300, and we do have resources. I would like to use this to do all of that. However, I would also like to use some of my resources for another thing, and that is starting my oil business. For that, we do have the oil harbor over there. So we can actually just go ahead. We have everything really for it, and I would like to do this, right? So we do need the small oil harbor. Now I can have it over there too, in a more protected area, I guess, or we just have it over here and protected with some of our warships then. I think we are going with this area for now. I'm not expecting a big attack yet, so let's just go ahead with the oil harbor, and then we go ahead with our oil refinery, and in that case, as we can see, we will need to
withstood an attack.
And probably one here and one here for those two. If I have it here in the center, nah, there's no way I can actually do this anywhere else, right? So I do need to have 2 in that case. That's all the oil springs that we have on this island. Let's just start out with this one here. So this would be 4 oil springs that I can use with the respective oil wells, right? So that's those guys here, and then we just have the tracks, also new tracks by the way, with some gravel and not with dirt anymore, because I really didn't like the dirt that much. And then we basically have a nice, I guess, bridge that I don't see. Let's just see. Where's my bridge? There it is. Why is it not up here? Ah, there it is. Okay. And now we can connect it, and boom, with that we got our very first oil production up and running. This will now pump in oil to my oil harbor, and I can then use this for oil as for my engineers, but also more importantly for my heavy industry, where I would like to use it then first. The oil is being produced, and we should see it then pumping out. We could also boost it to 50% right away, or by 50%, with only 1 negative happiness, which is fine. And the train is making its way from the harbor to the oil well. It's a really short route, right? So not a big deal here. I could go ahead and let's build the second one right away as well. And this one will also have its track then. And in that case, it's a very short route, so we don't really need to have double tracks for the full track here, right? So it's just fine if it goes like this. And the oil will then just accumulate over time. Let's also have those 2 oil wells, and that's it. 2 of them. And in the center, and that is a pretty cool thing, we can have a trade union then for boosting these 2 oil wells, and here pumping the oil. This is going to take a bit of a time here. A bit of time needs to pass before we have some oil in store. So I can use this time for some further upgrades, especially now for my engineers. So with the rest that we have, building materials, we could go ahead and continue with our core city here. That just gets more and more engineers, and probably then also my next big landmark building that we should probably start now. And the funny thing is, most of the resources we need for this is timber, right? So not actually steel. You might think that it is steel, but it's not really. It's all about timber. There's a few more here. Oh my goodness, we are only at +1 worker there. +2 now, so it's climbing at least a bit, but it's very, very slow. And here also those guys there. That's a lot already. We have some workers in here that I would like to get rid of. Just move them away a bit and get the engineer in it instead. I would so love to get more paved roads out here, but unfortunately the bricks that we have does not allow that yet. But that's that for now. It wasn't really the biggest upgrade there. We still have 3,300 artisans, so we just can't seem to get rid of my artisan workforce. It's fine though, and we do need to check once more my goods then. Another very important thing that I would like to do now is my fur coats. So we have the fur coats over here. Right now they do consume cotton fabric. We do have an item now that allows us to use wool instead. And I would really like to use this. We do have a trade union in this case over there, and I definitely don't want to have too many trade unions all the time because this just would drain my influence. So let's rather make a mixed trade union here. We have all the bakeries here already that can then produce chocolate for us, and I will just try to get my fur coats into its area of influence. And this should just work out fine. Let's just check this out. Yes, all of them, and then this one here too. We can move also the warehouse to further make this one work. And then here as well. So all of them do have a direct warehouse connection as well. And now we can build the trade union. That will cost me 20 influence now. Every single one of them. And as we can see, all of them are being affected. And I can then finally use the bakery productivity increase. And also I can use the substitution for the cotton. Now, however, before I do that, we do need to have a wool production up and running. And this is probably something that I'm going to have then in Knuters because it's really going to be not a lot of wool. The fur coat dealer is consuming every 30 seconds, right? Yes, we do have 5 of them. That means we need 10 wool per minute if I want to have the substitution for this. 10 wool per minute is very much doable as it only requires me 5 sheep farms. And for that, we do have this area up there that I would like to use for this. I can use one of the lumberjack huts down here for now. Let's actually put this one away from everything. And then I'm going with one warehouse. I hear some fighting. Oh my goodness, there is a big battle going on right in front of my island. The Admiral and the Pirate Barrel are fighting against each other. And of course, this is keeping the AI rather weak at the moment. So I think there's a problem. They don't want to go to peace with each other and destroying each other all the time. Especially the pirate is getting wrecked completely by being at war with basically everyone. Is that right? With 3, at least, she's at war. This makes it a bit difficult for Anne to really get up her forces. And then, of course, there's also Beryl that is fighting the Admiral all the time. I think we might have a deadlock there with the AI that I will need to have a look at as well. But I'd rather focus on my economy for now, as long as we're being left in peace. Let's have more warships. I really do like a big fleet. And we also get the Supreme Commander influence bonus. That gives me a nice speed bonus to my ships again, an attack speed bonus. Alright, but I was actually here in the process of getting my sheepies out. So let's just do it. Let's just have, I think, yeah, we can easily squeeze in 2 here. Don't forget, we do need 10 per minute, right? So this is 1, and then we should easily be able to squeeze in 1 more here, right? And then 2 on this side, easily. There you go, and there you go. And that's already our 10 wools that we have, right? We don't really need more than that. This is the wool that we need for our fur coats. I could boost it as well. I'm not doing this yet, but it is a possibility. However, once more, well, artisan workforce is suffering because of this farmer workforce. We do still have some space here that I would like to use for this. Though, of course, workforce is becoming an increasing problem with the lack of space. There you go. A few more upgrades down here should solve the problem. And what I can do now is, yeah, also we are out of cotton, just on time really. We do have wool in store though, right? Yes, lots of it. Let's just install the item. This will also substitute it to worker workforce. That is a big deal though, right? So this makes us lacking now 1,000 workers. Since we have enough artisans, I might actually now downgrade some artisans, right? So we can do this back again, so like this. I do have too many artisans for now, and this is an easy way of doing this, right? Just press Alt button while you have the upgrade mode enabled, and it will move to downgrade mode. And probably just this whole row there as well. So that we do get enough workers again that we need for our fur coats. Only for now though, because the problem will solve itself then anyway. Let's have also some more paved roads here, just to have a faster transportation. And this one, let's have a warehouse here, because they're trying right now to get to this warehouse there, which is catastrophic. There you go. Makes it a bit easier to manage now the industrial zones. And yeah, they're now getting this one done. I could then also already put the bakeries in stock. I think I'm going to do this, right? So the bakeries are getting boosted now. Did we have a boost on it? No, we did not. So they're just consuming a bit more. We will get 2 more flour mills in to supplement or to counter the increased consumption of the bakeries now. And since I have the materials, let's also upgrade one of these warehouses to a tier 3, to a tier 4 large warehouse actually. And I might also have this one upgraded and this one upgraded, because we just need that many ramps right now for all of these bakeries here now. And I'm actually out of bricks once more. Now, this will lead to an increased grain consumption, of course. I've already prepared more grain fields, so we do have these guys over here. I will still, however, continue with a few more, so we still have a bit of space here. And I think 2 at least, but I think 3 will actually work as well. Yeah, there is definitely room for another one here. So let's add this one. And then this one here, which has this whole row there. Yeah, and that's it, right? So we got 3 more, and that's just fantastic. Let's add another warehouse then to this area too. So this is going to lead to a nice grain production of 35 grain per minute right now. We are, I think, also boosting them. Yeah, but only by around 20%. That is something I can still accept for the terms. And we do have a consumption right now of 30. So it is working out. Close, but it is working out. Another clipper is coming out. We're going to need this because one of my coal clippers was destroyed by the pirate. Something that is not a problem anymore now, since we do have peace. Or ceasefire at least with the pirates. And that's it though, right? So all the trade routes are still continuing to work. Tobias just departed once more. We also could check it out now. Sewing machines, it's fine. It's not depleted. And the coal is also, the iron is also fine. It's not depleted. The coal though, there is the trade route disruption that we just had. So this is causing a bit of a huggers there, but that's it. For sewing machines, upgrading is happening soon. No silver, I'm not doing a destruction quest for you. And we'll just go for something else then here down the road. There's actually clay that I could import, right? So we still have a lot of surplus soap there, and I could use this to import some clay. It is rather cheap, so the 100 here. For another 100 tons of soap, getting 200 tons of clay out of that. Right now we do consume 9 only, right? So I could still have a few more of these brick factories out there. So I'm going with 3 more, consuming 3 clay per minute, leading to 60 every 20 minutes, so we can actually tone this one down quite a bit to 30, and we get the clay. Let's just make this one a bit safer, so we have a nice surplus, but that's it. And it should not deplete my soap then with that. And that's the docklands once more. And with that, we just almost doubled our brick production, which is pretty necessary. And with that, also we increased our steel beams production once again in return. What I can also see is that my fur coat dealers are working flawlessly. The wool is going down right now a bit, but only by a bit. And the fur coats, oh, it's decreasing by 1. Do we not have enough? I think with the upgrades, yeah, I might actually just go for another one here, because we do actually have an increased population of engineers. However, space is a bit tight here. What I can do is I can get rid of these, because I don't actually think that I'm going to need that many bakeries anyway. And instead I can squeeze in another fur coat dealer here that is going to consume that. And for my sheep farms, let's just add another one because of that. And at least 20% increased is fine as well for the happiness. Now, with the lack of a demand for cotton, we don't actually need those fields here anymore. This is a pretty nice thing, as we can get rid of them. There's no need for cotton anymore at all. This will give me back a lot of influence and also space up here that we can use. And what do we use it on? Well, we could conquer probably a New World island. It is possible, right? This one, it's not the best, but the Admiral seems to be pretty weak in this playthrough, and capturing an island from him is actually possible. To build up a hacienda here for with some coffee plantations. And yes, for that I would like to send some ships over, so let's just take those guys here and send them over to the New World to also start conquering some islands. I think it's time for that. We can also continue pushing it more into my ships there. And also here a few more clippers. Oh, actually I have 2 clippers available. That is totally fine. Now, also very important, my African expedition. I'm in no hurry really to get to Africa because we do get a guaranteed island anyway. It's all about unlocking scholars then down the road. So we do have once again an event. I really don't care about the events this time, so we are just going to click us through. And we barely lost anything here. And let's go to the Horn of Mbeza as the next step of the expedition. I think it's the last one, and then we should reach it. Now, another very important thing is a bit of city restructuring. We do have this whole area here working, but it's already consisting mostly of artisans and engineers. There is some workers and farmers over there, and what we can do here is now we can get rid of this marketplace and of this pub here. It's absolutely not needed anymore, since artisans don't need a marketplace or a pub, and we do have those workers over there that are being supplied by this marketplace anyway, right? So it was absolutely not required anymore. And what we can also do is we can move now the church and the school a bit further down here to those artisans. They still require a school, so we should provide it for them, and they also still would like to have a church for their happiness sake. So let's go ahead and move this church then down here. I will probably need to destroy something else and that's probably another road or something like that, just so that we can get the church down here, right, for these people. And there you go, right here. And this is also pretty nice, right? We have this little plaza then here, kind of like with the church leading then right also to the hospital. So if you die, right, you can go right to the church and get buried there in the cemetery that we have as well. Expedition requires attention. We are going to look at that later. I would like to continue. So we have now this area available, right? So this was the church that we just had. However, it's probably not going to be enough for my bank, which is just an insane building, really. Look at that. There is the smaller bank available, and there is also the Monumentus Bank, and I would like to use the Monumentus Bank because it's just how I would like to have my city. I can, however, move some more buildings around, so those guys here, for example, to make room for the theater on the other side. And we still have then the post office that I probably could also squeeze into this area. So look at that. This was like one of these standard blocks that I've used, right? And it's completely unrecognizable now to what it's been before. And that's what I meant by the city will oftentimes change its shape. And then we have this whole area there for the theater, and this makes it possible to have even more space here for a potential bank. However, I'm pretty sure we're not even there yet. And as we can see, we're not. We do, however, have this very cool modded building. It's a bit smaller than the standard bank, but it's just looking epic, or more epic, I think, in my opinion. This beauty here, and we can just place it right here in the center. It has the same costs, building material wise, and it also has the same maintenance cost, which is 1,000, but it's just looking really cool, I think. So let's place it here. We do have now a high demand for banks, so we're sitting at 14.5 right now. With this one, we'll drop now to 13.5. It's not connected yet, right, to the city, and we're going to make the connection. Then we'll just see how much it gets us. So 13.5 it is, and as we can see, this is going up now to actually quite a bit, right, almost to 20,000, yeah, to 19,000. So that was quite a nice profit here for the bank. And of course, it's making the engineers also much happier because they have finally a bank where they can invest all their money into, that they have their surplus money. We do have a lot of space here. For now, I'm just going to use a paved road around it. But as always, there is room for ornaments then as well, if we want to add them later to this. But this is just looking really cool there. I like that. Also, my fleet has arrived in the New World, so it is then time to start with the conquering. I'm getting my ships over here to the Admiral for now, right? We are not at war with him yet. I'm going to have the war declaration then once we are in the harbor area. Those ships just get over there and we will have a nice surprise attack upon him, and that will just crush him completely. Hopefully, I have no idea really how strong these cannons are. I do have the Royal Galleon, which is an amazing ship, so that should be fine. There's also a Clipper in the area. Let's purchase the Clipper real quick by Isabel at Isabel Zamento. And with that, I would like to reroll just a couple of times. Perhaps we do get something nice out of it, like a white flag, though I'm not expecting this one yet. No, and I'm not wasting too much money or anything on that. Let's just get the Clipper over then. Unfortunately, there's also no real bricks in Martinez. All right, so we'll take over the island, so we don't need the settling cost. We do have one clay deposit here, which we can use then later to also have a brick production in the New World. But for now, that's fine. So let's just wait for those ships to get over. Back to my main city. There is a few other things that we need to do now, and one of them is my oil is finally in, right? So we are capped on the oil actually, and I can now go ahead and start my oil business And for that, let's just have the road connection actually remodel a bit to this area. And I can now have a train finally going through the whole inner city like that. Probably having then a power plant here and goes to the other side then. Oh, by the way, we still need to keep that connection there for now. Goes then all the way down here to my industrial zone that we have. However, what I can see here is I might need to do something here. Let's just check this one out. Because I will need to move that warehouse there a bit over. A bit out of the way, right? Because here we're going to have then the tracks running through. And the same goes with this one. Just move it out of the way a bit. And here we do have the problem though that we can make it like that. And have it then running around here again. Right into my industrial zone. And oh my goodness, this is going to be epic. Let's just move the warehouse there as well. I do have a couple of warehouses close by. This is for those guys here. And those guys here are going to be upgraded. No prob. And then I can just lay now my tracks all the way from up here. Let's just make the junction somewhere here or actually here. I think this is safer. And then we just go all the way down here. This is going to cost me quite a lot of steel beams, but we do have them. Over here for a nice bridge right in the city center. Probably somewhere. Just make this one complete for now. Okay, there's no bridge possible up there, so I do need to make a crossing. This is going to be way too strange. Wait a second. Get rid of that bridge for now.
This is turning into a
now we can do this, and then I'm going to have my bridge down here.
Does what they be wanting not matter now?
And then we can make this one again. And continue onwards all the way down into the industrial zone. Here we're going to make then the curve. And then it leads all the way down. And continues further into the industrial zone. And boom, that's it. That was the longest track system that we needed on the island. It did cost me, I think, 100 tons of steel beams now. And it's then throughout the city. We do need to make the connections again really quickly, because those cities are not connected now, those districts. And with that, all the service buildings and whatever comes with it. And the same thing on the other side, of course. This is just not looking so great, though. Looking messy. No idea what we do here, though. This is... I'll just keep it for now, but we'll think about a solution there. And then we have these connections. Some of them are already there anyway. There's also the occasional riots of my not so happy people, but that's it. Alright, so there we have the train connection. What I like now is a power plant. So once again, we have this whole area here full of engineers that definitely would like to have a power plant. And for that, we do have this marketplace here that I also don't really need anymore. We do have some workers still on that side that I might need to supply with it, but that's it. And there we have the marketplace. For this whole side, I just moved some of the artisans down here because they have some room there. And then I actually have some space here for 2 more houses. Can't hurt to have them there for now. We do need the workforce anyway, and perhaps also squeeze in some 2 more here. Really, let's use the maximum of our core cities there. And yeah, there are some riots here. This is causing my drop in worker population, so another mobile task force to supply my people with beating. That should be the optimal choice. With that, we have this area available now. And this looks like a good area for a power plant, right? So if I place it here, as we can see, almost, we could also place it down here to supply more people. And there it is possible, right here between the university and my hospital. We can squeeze in a power plant. There is room for more buildings then. So for example, we could have the police station here as a buffer zone between my people, and that's actually not that possible. Let's keep it up there for now. Oh, you know what? Actually, even better if we move the hospital one step to the front, which isn't really noticeable. We can have the power plant just here, hidden completely by all these buildings, and have a direct connection to the center, right? Like this. This is working out fantastic. We can then hide the power plant a bit. Here. Or actually the tracks, right? The university. This road we don't really need. I mean, there is still here the connection we should make. And then we actually have room here for more houses, right? So we can squeeze in some more artisans, the ones that we moved from this side, for example. We can take the artisans out here, or wherever they have some good coverage of all the basic needs, like those guys here. We could move them in here, or make a little park. Who knows? Either way, it's working out. And with that, we could build it, right? Yep, we could do it. And let's actually start with the one in the industrial zone. There you go. Has a connection now with the tracks. So there will be, in no time now, the train coming in. And with that, we will boost our whole industry by 100%. While we wait for the train, the docklands have upgraded another good, and there was the sewing machines. So this is also increasing in value now. And with that, we also will have now more modules available again. And that is one more export office that we can then just have in the area too. That provides me another trade contract. And it really doesn't take long for the first train to already arrive. And this is always a very, very cool occasion, very cool moment, because it also opens up the age of electricity for us as the oil is coming in. As our really dirty looking industry is now finally getting supplied with electricity. Not yet though, it's still unloading, it's not producing yet. There it is. Now we are producing electricity, and now that means for the whole zone here getting boosted, and that means 100% for every industry building that we have in this area. That is affecting my sewing machines, that is affecting my furnaces, that is also affecting my brick factories, most of them. We might increase the range by adding additional paved roads to this area, right? As we can see, it works almost all the way up here now. And now it has it also, so the whole industry has it now. Also all the way up to my steel beams 100%, and also my glass makers 100% productivity boost. This will of course increase consumption of my ore especially, and my steel, but we can work on that later. For now, we just marvel at what has been achieved, and we continue onwards here in the next episode. Stay tuned.